What makes an inspired woman? We are brilliant, funny, compassionate, generous, fearless, supportive, bold, outstanding leaders, and super influential. That's what makes us inspired women. Come join us. Welcome to Inspired Women Amazing Lives podcast, where we seek to help women understand that it's not where they came from that matters the most, but it is the journey and the destination that determines their future. And with us today, I have a very inspiring young lady, Christine Osoria. And she is so amazing. She's a motivational speaker, an author, and a body positive advocate. Christine is a working mom of 3 and a Bronx native. Christine is best known as the founder and CEO of My Curves, a self-love and body positive community for young girls and women. Christine has helped women connect with their soul, creating healthy habits through exercise, empowering their minds, and falling in love with themselves and their lives. I love that. She recently released her first children's book, Rosalia, the Honduran American. I love it. She thrives in sharing inspirational messages through her high energy. Christine loves to read, dance, write, and loves to have fun with her family and friends. She currently resides in Allentown, Pennsylvania with her husband and children. Welcome, Christine.
Thank you so much for having me here today, Kimberly. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So, Christine, if you will, share your story with us. Tell us what brought you to this place as this body positive expert.
Yeah, no problem. So, I am a mom of 3. Like you read before, I'm a mom of 3. I've been a mom since I was 19 years old, so a teenage mom. So, pregnancy is different for every mom, and I didn't know much about self-love, and I didn't know much about body positivity growing up. And as a new mother, especially, I was a mother of 2 daughters. 2 daughters and my son. But, I've realized after watching my daughters grow up that nobody has really spoken to me about body positivity. Nobody has really spoken to me about self-love. And, there was a really dark moment in my time where I just was at war with myself in the mirror. I was at war with my body. I was at war with who I am as a woman, as a mother. And a couple of years ago, I am a runner. I'm a marathoner. I'm hopefully, I'll be able to run my 5th marathon. But 5 years ago, when I became pregnant with my son, with my 3rd child, I was scared to get pregnant again. And one of the reasons why that I was so scared of being pregnant, honestly, was because I had lost a substantial amount of weight, and I was scared of gaining it back. And I was scared of how will my body look after giving birth again, and I'm a mother, and I don't go back to pre-baby weight right away. I just don't. That's not how my body is. Mm-hmm. And I struggle so much with losing weight. I struggle so much at even having this good relationship with my body. And one day during one of my runs in my 3rd pregnancy with my son 5 years ago, I just got this message of like, look how strong your body is, and look how strong how powerful it is running while you're being pregnant. And maybe it's time for you to learn how to love your body. And that's how kind of CEO of My Curves came about. And that's how this whole thing at the age of 27, 28, where I just got this movement of wanting to learn how to love myself and teaching women how to do it too, because looking around, I realized so many women that I was surrounded with, how we're so quick to criticize our body. We're so quick to say something negative about ourselves. And it's so hard for us to say something positive. And I was looking at my surroundings and I realized that it's consistent, and you hear it all the time. You hear it in social media, you see it in on magazines. It's like how to lose weight, or, how to have the perfect body. And it's like, my goodness, like, why are we feeding ourselves all this, how it should be? Why can't we put messages of, let's learn how to love our body. Let's learn how to love that mom body while pregnant, before pregnancy, after pregnancy, during your workout. So my journey started to conclude everything, honestly, but like, my journey started after my third pregnancy, but it kind of gave me that light bulb when I had my two daughters. So yeah.
Very nice. There's so much you said in there that I absolutely love, because that is so true. I mean, and just being a woman of color, I know, our bodies don't really just bounce back that way.
Mm-hmm.
Women of color just tend to have an extra little bit of cushion there,
Yeah.
I don't know how else to say it, but we do. And so
Yeah.
because of that, we just, it does, the weight just doesn't really fall back off. And,
Mm-hmm.
and so I get it, Christine, I'm much older than you are, but I really just, I still struggle with, there are times when I say, oh, I need to lose this extra 10 pounds. And I squabble over 10 pounds, and I'll say that, and then, I'll obsess about it a little bit. And then I have to tell myself, stop obsessing, forget about those 10 pounds. You look great. Stop.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I've worked with women from so many different ages. I work from actually, I'm going to start with it. So I've worked with women. Well, I'm going to start with my daughters, because they're kind of like, they're my daughters. And if I want to make a change in how I want women to be in the future, I have to start with who I have at home. Obviously starting with myself, but I also have to start at home. Right. And one day I was sitting back, and I'm sitting with my husband, and I'm talking to my husband, and I'm like, I just like you, right? Because I think we all go through it. I started criticizing my stretch marks, my cellulite, this extra cushion, the baby pouch. Like, I still got a baby pouch. You understand? Like, it's still there. And I'm a runner. I'm a thick woman. I have curves. Yeah. I have some extra skin. And my husband I have to say, like, my husband was always very encouraging. Like, he's always like, oh, babe, you look beautiful. You look beautiful. Yes. Right. And yes, that's amazing, because obviously we want a spouse. We want someone who's going to pour that love.
Right.
But something that I realized, that I was kind of expecting my husband to give me that love, and I wasn't giving it to myself. Right. And what I mean by that is that I was always hoping that he would continue to encourage me and continue to pour that love, so I could identify myself as beautiful. But at the end of the day, as much as my husband's words matter, I can't really rely on his words. I had to rely on my own.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So I had to really rely on my own words, and I had to really rely on my own self-love, to not depend on somebody else to validate my beauty, to not have someone else to validate, to go, oh, you are beautiful. Like, I shouldn't have to depend. I mean, there's nothing wrong of having my husband tell me that I'm beautiful, or I'm amazing, or I'm phenomenal. We want that, especially in a couple, and even within your surroundings. But I had to learn something, and I learned it hard, that I couldn't just depend on somebody else's validation to determine my beauty and who I am. Yeah. And I had to learn how to make that shift and teach my daughters to do the same.
Yes, that is a good point, Christine. That is so important, because you're right. Self-love, of course, is not about whether someone else sees you as beautiful, someone else validates you. It's about you validating you. And we are by ourselves. Our brain can tell us some really tricky things, you
Oh
know.
yeah.
So you're right. It's not about that. And yeah, I get that, because even though I will have people around me, like I'm in my 50s, and
Yeah.
I have people around me that say, "Oh my gosh, you know, your body looks amazing for 50," because they think
Yeah.
that women in their 50s start to let their bodies go or something.
Yeah.
Why they think that? But I have other people around me that'll tell me that, but it doesn't matter what they tell me. I still feel like, oh, sometimes I still spaz out about an extra 10 pounds, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And something that you said, yeah, and I just want to go back to something that you said earlier. For some reason, it just came back up. We're women of color, right? I'm Honduran American, so I'm Hispanic, and I grew up, and I'm pretty sure you can relate, because I grew up in the Bronx, so it's so life could be a little bit different there sometimes, because you just grow and you see so much, right? You see so much of your surroundings. But like you, I grew up in a home where we consistently, as women, criticize each other because of how we look,
Yeah.
right? And it's like, oh, you're too fat. Oh, you're too skinny. Oh, you shouldn't eat that because that's gonna make you gain weight. Oh, that's gonna give you cholesterol. Oh, now you have cellulite. Like, we're so quick as women, and even within our own home, and that could be your mom, and
Yeah.
that could be your sister, right? And and growing up in my home, I have to say, like, I can't remember my mom saying it. But then again, my mom never taught me about self-love and body positivity. Like, I'm teaching my mom now. My mom is 60, you know? Like, my mom is like, I'm inspired by you. But one thing is that even within my own family, and, I did see women, like, we're quick to criticize one another because we just want to make sure that we're perfect. And I get it. Sometimes it's tough love because I grew up in tough love world.
Yes.
But sometimes that does affect us because then we bring it on into our own children and onto our own adulthood. So as a woman, as a Latina woman, I do understand that when you said earlier, like, we have cushion, or, we're more curvy. We got the thick thighs, like, thick thighs save lives. Like, hello. Like, my phone doesn't fall off my thighs, but, I just had to say that.
I
But,
love it.
yeah, and it's like, and sometimes we have that family member who is like so curvy and beautiful, and they have this amazing heart, and you just want to hug them like a bear because they're so warm, right?
Yes.
But it's like we have to love each and every woman's body, right? And yeah, of course, we're gonna find another woman who may be more confident than us, but definitely respect that other woman for who she is and her body, because at the end of the day, she has the same thing as we do. She goes through the same thing as we do, and we're no different. We're just powerful women with, some of us are curvy, some of us are skinny, some of us are thicker, but we're just all beautiful women.
Yes. Yes. I totally agree. It's about the heart and the soul of the woman,
Yeah.
And so
Hmm.
that's what's really important. Now, Christina, I was going to ask you what you're most passionate about, but
Oh no, we could continue. Trust me, I tell you.
you already told me. I mean, you are really, really passionate about that. And I really love that. Now, do
Yeah.
you have clients? You do work with clients. How do you work with your clients?
Yeah, so I have, and I'm thinking about bringing back up my 4-week self-love program that I started. But and within my 4-week self-love program that I had started, I teach women on really dissecting as to where this whole hatred and dislike about themselves started,
Mm,
and teaching them ways on how they can become more positive within themselves, because everything is all a mindset. But
yes.
truth of the matter is that the reason why there's a lot of mentors and there's a lot of coaches who actually care, it's like because we want to show people what is possible, within themselves. You know what I mean? The reason why I do what I do, whether it's a one-on-one program or a workshop, is because I just have this view of seeing women walking confident in their skin and walking confident, nice and proud, and being this light in the world, and showing people and showing others that we can love ourselves just the way we are, right? So like for instance, my one-on-one program that I had before, more than likely I'll probably bring it up again, but right now I'm working on some other things for CEO on my curves. I meet with the person one-on-one on a weekly basis, and we talk, and we give I basically guide them on how they can, start seeing a different side of them that they didn't think that they had before, how to start building their confidence, right?
Yes.
So that's one way I've done it. And it's been amazing because I have seen a couple of women, a couple of my ladies, like, take action. And it could be something like a small action in the sense of maybe running. I have a lot of people who are runners. So maybe running in a sports bra, something that they never did before. You understand what I mean? And being confident. Yeah, being confident and taking off that shirt and just running in a sports bra. Like, one of my girls, she was like 15. One of my ladies, actually, she was like 50, and she ran her first marathon. She took that action step and she ran her first marathon. And, it's building that confidence within that woman. Within my workshops, now that's my one-on-one program that we meet once a week. Now, when I have done my workshops is it's just as intense as my programs. My workshops, because I'm there, it's a lot of it is dissecting, but a lot of it is also having women walk out that door and being completely different who they were before. And what I mean is, like, breaking them down in the sense of, okay, who do you see in the mirror, and them letting me know what it is that they see. How can we build that positive mindset? What are different ways that you can build a positive mindset with yourself? And because this is like a one-day program, that a one-day workshop with a couple of hours, I basically, have them, like, do something uncomfortable within the women in the group that they probably think that was never done before. And you'll be surprised, like, how women, like, immediately, how they all just break, like, and break in the sense of they have this amazing breakthrough. And they realize that we're all going through the same thing. We all go through low self-esteem. We all, someone out there knows somebody who has eating disorders. Some of us are going through depression, especially within ourselves. Moms who just gave birth are not feeling like themselves again. One of my ladies, I have to say, and I kind of want to share this. Like, one day after my workshop, one time after my workshop, a couple of months later, she texts me and she says to me, she's another one who's like over 50, amazing woman. And she had a lot of like low self-esteem. And she said to me, Christine, I went to a nude beach, right? And yeah, I know. And I was like, okay. At first I was like, where is this going? But let me read it. And she says, but I have to say, I was not embarrassed to show my body. Now, this is a big step for this lady. And that's a big step for a lot of people. Yeah. And we might be thinking, oh my goodness, a nude beach. Like, who wants to be naked in front of other people? But you'll be surprised who is naked just to be home alone by themselves.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, people are ashamed to take off their clothing and just be naked at home. And it's like, and so it's like, we need to be comfortable in our skin, not just in the nude beach, but really anywhere. So, and I was kind of pretty proud of this woman because she had a lot of baggage within her. Mm-hmm. But just to have her take that step, it's like, my goodness, look what you have done. Now, that's a big step for her. But for other people, it's starting small. And it's maybe just writing a positive message about themselves in the mirror, So, so those are like different things, like, that I've done in my workshops and in my programs.
Now, I really love that. Now, I tell you, I related when you said about just being nude at home, because
Mm-hmm.
that was something I was not used to. I live alone now. So now it's in the last couple years actually is where I have been okay
Mm-hmm.
just being nude at home by myself, of course. And
Yeah.
I walk from my bedroom to the kitchen with no clothes on. I mean, that was an uncomfortable thing for me. So I've gotten past that. Now, I'll
Yeah.
tell you, when you talk about her being at the nude beach, I'm not going to go that far, but
Yeah.
I'm not ready for that yet. But
Yeah.
one of the things that I'm going to challenge myself, hopefully the beaches will open back up this summer and
Mm-hmm.
I'll be able to
I
get
hope
to the
so.
beach. And I'm going to buy a two-piece.
Yes. Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes, please.
Worn a two-piece before. I've always been like afraid to wear a two-piece. So I'm going to buy a two-piece and wear it this summer.
Yes.
And so
Yes. So let me share a quick story then about I want to share a quick story, and because I'm sure there's a lot of other women who are just like you, have not worn a two-piece before, right? And listen, I get it. The first time I ever wore a two-piece, I was actually 27 years old, and I was already married. I already had my two kids, but there was something about the two-piece bathing suit that I was afraid of. And I'm not sure if I was afraid of like people looking at my stomach, at my stretch marks, at the way that my breasts are not the perkiest, because, I'm a mom of two, right? So they're not the prettiest, but they're there, right? So, I, I remember that day that I decided to wear the two-piece, and man, I'm so used to wearing a one piece or just hiding my body.
right.
I was so scared. And mind you, I was with my husband and my kids, and I was still scared, But it was also I don't even know what's the right word for it, but it was also this freeing moment.
Yes.
Right?
I bet.
Yeah. And even like getting in the water, and yes, there were people around because we were in the beach. We were actually in San Diego when that happened. I was like, I'm going to take the plunge and I'm just going to wear two-piece. And yeah, I was like so scared. I'm going to San Diego. And, I could do this at home. But anyways, it was just a freeing moment, and let the water just splash in my body, and, feeling it in my stomach and in my, and everywhere else, that a place that usually I'll just have it covered.
Yes.
But it felt so freeing because, one, nobody was really looking at me, right? Yeah, like it was just me, right? And my kids. But secondly, it was just like, wow, like it's not as bad as I thought. You know what I mean? Like, we wear lingerie all the time, the bra, the pants, right? But for some reason, coming out the doors in a two-piece bathing suit is just so hard for so many of us.
Yes.
So when I decided to do that, ever since then, I made that promise to myself that I will wear a two-piece every summer, regardless of how my body looks. Because at the end of the day, it's like, it's me coming more out of my comfort zone, me stepping into my own power as a confident woman and loving my body of how she looks and who she is. So that's the way I see it. So definitely go for it.
Yes. You hit it right there. It's just, it's about you. It's about you being positive about you and loving your body. And it's funny that you say, no one's really looking at you. That's funny because you're right. No one really cares that you have a two-piece on.
Yeah.
We think that. We think that.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. So Christine, we're gonna take a quick break.
Yeah.
And when we return, we will talk more about this whole body positive movement and the body shaming. So
yeah, I can't wait.
In a sec.
All right.
Are you a podcaster with lots of episodes and content, but have not been putting it to good use? Don't you know that repurposing your content gives you more visibility? And no, it doesn't have to be time consuming. I've got you. Hey, Kimberly Wiggins here with Inspired Women Amazing Lives. Listen, you have what it takes to do this, but it is just time to let more people hear your message. Repurposing your content can surely get you there. Using my repurposing system for your podcast episodes helps you to show up everywhere and be heard in a much greater way so that your message can add value to the lives of others. Isn't that what you really want? Check out From Podcasting to Profit right now at inspiredwomenamazinglives.com. Let's shift things for your life and business so you can repurpose your amazing content that impacts your audience. Use the code PROFIT for $200 off From Podcasting to Profit. Welcome back. I have Christine with me, and she is talking all about body positivity. Christine, would you share with us, shed some light on this body positivity movement and I've heard some talk about the body shaming that goes on. Tell us about that.
Yeah, definitely. So CEO of my Curves, I started that 5 years ago when I was pregnant with my son. Like I mentioned before, it was actually when I was running. I was 7 months pregnant. I was still running, and that's how that started. That's how I started this movement. And basically, this community that I built, and I'm still building, I'm still growing it, is just showing women to shed a light, real honestly, and like show women to like love themselves more, love their body more, and to become more confident in their skin, to become more confident in who they are, and having this, this phrase in the sense of like, we are not just our body, we're so much more than that. And we shouldn't justify our beauty and what size we are, or what shape we are, or how our hair is, or how our eyes are. So the whole purpose of CEO of My Curves is really to encourage women to love themselves and their body, as well as encouraging women on health and wellness, because that's how CEO of My Curves did start, with running. And what I mean by that is that you can work out and you can want to change for yourself, but you don't have to always, it doesn't always have to be, I need to lose 5 pounds so I can look great. It's more of, hey, let's love our body now while we're working out, and let's continue to love her while we're in this process. Like, don't just love your body when you just reach a result. Love your body now while you're also reaching that result and putting goals within yourself, right?
Right.
Because I feel sometimes I've been in health and wellness for a very long time. I love it. I am a big fan when it comes to running. I've done CrossFit, I do yoga, I do it all. Like, I just love it. It's just, it keeps me going. And honestly, without movement, right? Without movement, our bodies can't function. Like, we need to move. Like, and, so when I began CEO My Curves, and again, it started while I was running 6 months pregnant, I also got like this continuous message is like, we shouldn't just love ourselves when we reach that size 5 or that size 4. We need to learn how to love ourselves at size 10, love our body when she's 180 pounds, when she's 160 pounds, and continue to grow that love within us so that we can form this amazing relationships with our body. Because at the end of the day, our body is one that we live with on a day-to-day basis.
Right.
So, without pouring love on ourselves, we can't, if we do not pour in love ourselves, we're going to end up finding something wrong with our body, which is going into the whole body shaming. Body shaming for many people, and for many women, and it's men as well, because men have go through their own body shaming, but I'm going to talk for women because I'm a woman. So, I didn't know much about body shaming, but I was listening to what people were saying of how a body should be like since the starting age of like teenage, 10 years old. And for many girls, body shaming begins when you're growing, when you know, young girls are growing breasts, when young girls are having their menstrual, like, you know, it begins there, because girls are realizing, like, wait, my body is different. My body is growing differently than this other girl. Like, how come she looks tall, thin, and I am curvy and thick? Like,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
so, but I think as young girls, we don't realize that it starts then, right?
Mm.
And then we consistently hear it going to middle school, going to high school, and forget it. When you're in high school, you're trying to, you know, you want to be the most beautiful girl there. You know, you want people to love you, right? And then if you're in college and you're meeting so many beautiful people, and even out in the work world,
Yeah.
um, you know, we start looking at other women and how they look, how they dress, how their body shape is. Then the summertime comes. Who's wearing the best bathing suit? Who has the best breasts? Who has the best curves? Her stomach is flat, but her stomach is out. Like, you know, so body shaming comes in so many different ways and forms, and it could not just be verbally, but it could also be mentally.
Yeah.
And mentally in the sense of body shaming yourself every single day in the mirror. um
Yeah.
because we're, as women, we are our number one critic. Like, if you like, like, you know, like, we criticize ourselves on a constant basis.
Mhm.
Like, you, like, I'm pretty sure every woman has gone through it. You look at yourself in the mirror while you have your lingerie on, and you're like, oh my goodness, I have this stretch mark. Oh my goodness, this, I, you know, this chicho, this stomach rolls, chicho, I'm sorry if I'm saying in Spanish, but this stomach roll, yeah, this stomach roll is hanging out. Why does my stomach look this way? Why are my legs like this? Why is my arm so flabby? Like, you want to talk about criticism? We're number one. We criticize ourselves so much. And that's where all the body shaming comes in, is ourselves, right? And then we take it on to our sisters, our cousins, our children. Then our children are growing up learning that, because they hear us say it. You know, our cousins, our family members are hearing us speak to ourselves in such a negative way that they're learning it.
Right.
So I truly believe that body shaming comes from our ancestors in a way, right? Especially um now that how our society is, that we're so, you know, we're into social media, but, you know, the mirror and everything, that we look at ourselves and we're consistently trying to criticize ourselves. I think if we didn't have a mirror, that, you know, we'll just go with the flow and just realize how beautiful we are, right? I'm just saying. But, you know, we look at ourselves and we find something that's wrong with us, and we feed on that on a consistent level, and then we feed it to everybody else around us. So, you
Mhm.
know, body shaming, it starts, you know, it really begins with us. And then we kind of like, it kind of like trickles down to like everybody else around us. um so, you know, it's really big. And not just body shaming, but also the way we eat, the way we treat ourselves, you know. So that is just, you know, body shaming is really big, and it's something that we need to fix as a society. It's something, you know, maybe not fix, but learn how to work through it. Learn how to not stop looking at such the negative of how our body should be, and look at, okay, what is amazing about my body today? You know, what did she do today for me? She woke up today, um you know, my body feels great today. I drank this coffee and my body, you know, she feels energized. You know, I worked out, you know, and she can walk a mile. Like, we need to
Yeah.
learn how to program that mindset and stop being so negative about ourselves and thinking about what the positive and beautiful things our body are.
Yeah. I love that. Now, a couple things that you said.
Mhm.
I think social media, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
contributes to it so much, because we're looking at, I saw a post the other day where someone says, stop comparing yourself to the one 5 minute highlight
Hmm.
of somebody else's life, because that's all they're posting. They may have had a terrible week, and their body may have looked a wreck all week long, and then they got this one instance, this 5 minutes where their body looks super great, so they took a picture of that and posted it, and that's what everybody else is comparing themselves to.
Yeah. Social media, I feel like, um a lot of people, like, yes, social media is what we put out there, what we want people to see, but then we don't want to look at the background of it, right?
No.
And yeah, and I think that when it comes to social media, we can't consistently idolize these other people. You
No.
understand? Because they are just like us. Like, whoever tells you that they don't go through things, or they don't go through body shaming, or they don't, I have to say, like, we all have our negatives and our positive. We all have our pros and our cons. Like, there's days that I could be very positive with myself, and there's days that I could be very negative with myself. Like, it's a roller coaster every single day, right? But social media has a way of just showing just only the good, and not talking about what goes on, like, in the back, at home, and I feel as women, as humans, right, we cannot always just rely on social media. I think that we need to more sometimes step back every once in a while, or just follow people who are amazing, who, like, show the negatives and the positives in life. And that way you have an understanding that everyone goes through their thing around the same time, that we're not all perfect. Because I'll tell you for a fact, like, I'm not perfect all the time. I'm still learning how to work through a lot of things,
Right. Yes.
and and social media also has a way of just sometimes idolizing what is supposed to be, what is perfect. And we're not always perfect. Like, I know I'm not, so yeah, I have to say, like, but I always tell people that I work with, or any women, anyone out there, like, make sure in your feed, whether you're on social media and also in real life, be around people who are positive, who will teach you, who will show you, like, hey, you guys, you know what? I did mess up, and, and I learned how to go through this, or, today I did feel a little insecure about myself, but guess what? These are the ways that I felt secure afterwards. But, we need to be mindful of the people that we follow, because that plays a big role into your life, you know? But yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Um, I love the way you talk about talking to yourself more positively. You should really do something specifically with that, so women
Yeah.
you can give them the words to say.
Yeah.
I loved it when you were talking about, thank you, body, for getting me up on my legs this morning and being able to walk, and I
Yeah.
just love all of that. So
Yeah. I think that's really important. Like, there's like, so I'm gonna give you an example of something that I do, and I consistently do it every now and then. And for anyone who wants to take it, go ahead, take it, copy it, it doesn't matter. Um, I sometimes stand in front of the mirror and I tell myself, you are a beautiful goddess, and, like, you're so beautiful, like rocket sis. And I do my own catwalk in front of the mirror. And because I love to, yeah, like, like, I'll be honest. And sometimes I'm naked, sometimes I'm in lingerie or my bathing suit or whatever. It doesn't matter. Or sometimes it's right after my workout. But I find ways to encourage my own self. And it goes back to what I was telling you from the beginning, because I cannot always rely on someone else to encourage me. I cannot always have someone to applaud me. Like, I have to consistently do that for myself so that I could feel good. Now, that is one way that I feel good about myself. But things like talking to myself in the mirror, and it may feel weird in the beginning because you're like, wait, like, I look and sound crazy. But that is important. It's important for you to learn how to, first of all, view yourself and see your beauty, but more is like, talk to yourself in a powerful, phenomenal, encouraging way. Because at the end of the day, if we do not give ourselves that love, we cannot expect nobody else to give it. Like, it's just, it's honest. You know what I mean? We, the love that we need to seek is really the love within ourselves.
right.
And yes, we have kids and we have a husband. Some of us have amazing family members that tell us, I love you. But you need to learn And this goes for anyone out there, to love who you are as the woman, as, you know, your skin color, your body type. Like, love everything about yourself, because your love is so much more important than everybody else's.
Absolutely. Well said. I love it.
Yeah.
Now, Christine, you have a webinar that is coming up, and you also host your own podcast. Tell us about
Yes.
that.
Yeah. So for anyone that's listening, definitely follow me through my social media, because the next couple of days I will be announcing a webinar that I'm going to do. And it's really just during these times, I think it's really awesome for any women to like connect with one another. So I don't want to give out the full details, but definitely I want to do a webinar in terms of self-love and body positivity, but more is just having women come together, especially during these times. I think it's great for us to like come in and like talk about maybe something that we love about ourselves, or something that we may want to work on, or whatever that is. But it's really it's going to be a body positivity webinar in a way. Um, my podcast, you can find it at the Christy Osoria Show. I'm in iTunes. I'm in Anchor. I know I'm in a couple of other places, Spotify, if I'm not mistaken. Um, um, so my podcast, it's really like motivational speaking. I have shared about my racing. I have shared about
Nice.
growing up in poverty, growing up in the hood, and and being this woman, Latina woman who's deciding to go for it. I'm still learning day by day, but the whole purpose of everything that I do is really to encourage another person to
Yes.
go out there and reach their dreams, and to be able to, you know, break that status in the sense of what we should be, and do what it is that you want to be in this life, because we're really, we all have a gift, and we all should be able to share it.
Yes.
So, and there's nothing wrong in sharing what you're passionate for and doing what you love.
Absolutely. I love
Yeah.
it. Yeah, audience. So please make sure that you are tuning in, following her on her channels. Um, I will post her website
Yeah.
and all of her social media links, and you can follow her to find out when that webinar is. And definitely check out Christy's podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
She is, as you can see, she's a ball of fun and a ball of fire. I can imagine how much fun her podcast is. And
Yeah.
Christy, you have a book.
I do. I do. I just launched it in January. My book is called Rosalia, the Honduran American, and it's pretty much my story. Um, I am Honduran American, so it's basically a story about a young girl who goes to school in a very diverse community, and she was assigned a cultural project to find out that not a lot of people have heard of the country Honduras. And the reason why I wrote this book is to talk about, the Honduran culture, but also teaching children and adults to embrace their culture, to embrace who you are. So what I mean by that is, if you live in a community where nobody has heard of, let's just say, Nigeria, or nobody has heard of Dominican Republic or Puerto Rico, like, never be ashamed of who you are. If you're Irish, if you're Italian, and nobody has heard of that, never be ashamed of your culture. Never be ashamed to say, this is what my culture loves to eat. This is the music that I love to listen to. So my book is solely based on embracing your culture and being proud of who you are, and never being ashamed of it, aside of also being an American. So I just felt it was really important during this time to share my book and to write this story. Because I get to share a little bit about Honduras, where my family's from, but also because I think, during this time, that we just need to embrace our ancestors and, our cultural background, you
Right.
know, and share with the community, different ways of who we are,
Mm.
different hairstyles, different music. I just think it's really important for for this world to have a shed of light and like know all these different cultures.
Yes, I think you're
Yeah.
absolutely right. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. I love that you
Thank
wrote a
you.
book that
Thank you.
represents your culture. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Christine, it was amazing having you here today. Um,
Same here.
I'm sure that my guest is really enjoying enjoying this, because I am. You're so much fun.
Yeah. Thank you.
You shared with us so much great positive information. Audience, I so hope that you have listened intently to everything that Christine has said, because she's really shared some really good, inspiring information for women who are thinking about, who are looking in the mirror and saying, I don't like what I see.
Yeah.
She is really teaching you how to reframe that so that you can love this. Christine, we're coming to the end of this interview, so I want to make sure that before we leave, you leave my audience with something, an action item that they can put into place today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what would you tell them?
Of course. So first I want to say thank you so much for having me, and for anyone who's listening. Like, I'll be honest, I could talk for hours. Like, I just get so excited about this. So, one action item to all the ladies, anyone, men in general who are listening: when you wake up in the morning, say something positive about yourself. What is the one thing that you love about yourself? And say it loud and clear. And another thing, I'm actually wanted to give you a little homework. Get Post-it notes and put it around your house. Put it in your phone. Put it in your mirror, and let this word, whatever it is that you love about yourself, repeat it consistently, and let this be a reminder of how amazing and powerful and phenomenal you are. That will be the action step and little homework that I give. I just think that we have to wake up and not only say thank you for life, but also thank you of how amazing that we are and how beautiful we are inside. And I really have to say thank you so much for having me here. It was a pleasure. And to anyone, just, the year is here, and we can definitely make a difference, and start with yourself and pouring lots of love on yourself.
Thank you, Christine. Yes.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. I'm so happy I had the opportunity to talk with you. An audience, reach out to Christy. I will put all of her information on the show notes. Reach out to her and just have a conversation.
Yeah, you can email me. I love to talk. Yeah, like I love to talk. Email me. I'm always here. Because I just think that we need to help each other out, and you can always message me. That is not a problem.
Yes, especially if you're struggling with your body.
Yeah.
Christine.
Yeah.
Thank you, Christine, for being here.
Thank you, Kimberly.
Thank you, audience. And we will see you next time on Inspired Women, Amazing Lives. Bye. Thanks for joining me for this episode of Inspired Women, Amazing Lives podcast. Until we meet again, I urge you as an inspired woman to seek out ways to inspire and lead the other women in your circle. Please share this episode with another woman that you would love to inspire, or someone who has inspired you. Feel free to rate, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, and remember, always thrive, inspire, and lead.